You in this battle, man, I'll soon be dead. I'll glue your face to my dick so I can fuck with your head. I got metaphors coming through my pores. You probably never been in a battle before, so I hope you realize your mistake. There ain't no party, got some candles, this will be a piece of cake. Plus you're fake, I can tell while I'm hotter than hell. Fuck Microsoft Word, I'm about to excel.
Folks, welcome to the Before Hours podcast, an internet radio phenomenon hosted by an occasional morning person. I ask the most interesting people I know about their sleep, their routine, life, love, stress, setbacks, and whatever else comes to mind. If you want to write to the podcast, you may do so. Our email is at the beforehourspodcast@gmail.com. It's just the beforehourspodcast@gmail.com. It's not at the Before Hours podcast.
Yeah,
that makes it sound
but that's
like
where you write them at.
That's where you can write me at. Guys, I'm going to figure out this intro sometime very soon.
Yep.
Yeah, this is episode I think 20 or something.
Not today.
I almost have it. Not today. But guys, you could write to the beforehourspodcast@gmail.com. But for now, I got a very funny comedian, good friend of mine, Humzah Choudry.
Yep.
And I fucked up your last name.
I told him I would leave if he fucked up my last name.
Humzah, thanks for joining us. Sorry it didn't work out.
Should I get up? This is it. This is the clip.
Storm out.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah. Connor, can we clip that?
I'm too lazy to even actually get up and walk out. How about this? That's enough.
Yeah. Humzah,
This podcast is bullshit.
I'm so sorry, Humzah.
My last name is Choudry.
Choudry. It's not hard at all.
No, okay. So I usually let people get away with Choudry because I think that's easier for the I don't know way white people talk. Choudry is a little tough.
Yeah,
but it's just like Cha. The D is the hard one because it's not a D. It's not.
I mean,
Choudry.
I had the first syllable and then I said Chauncey. Who's Chauncey?
You said Chauncey, like Billups.
Who is it? Billups Chauncey?
Chauncey Billups is former Detroit Pistons point guard, championship winning.
Oh yeah, because I am a sports guy.
Sports guy. Also, there's other Chaunceys. It's just like every British person in a movie, Chauncey.
And did people in Italy get the name right? I mean, I don't know how often you were dealing with customer service people that had to say your last name.
Nobody had to say my name, really, now that I think about it. So I was there with my girlfriend, and her name's Hina, and I kept calling her the entire trip. I was like, Ahina, the whole time, dude.
Yeah,
she was getting so mad the whole time. I was like, Ahina, will you please grab me? And she just... You know what's so funny is I was doing it the whole time. It's so offensive.
Yeah,
it's like if a Italian person just came here, was like, started talking like I don't know, like a redneck or something, and it's just like, yeah, dude, we gotta stop. It was super disrespectful.
Yeah.
We went to Positano on the Amalfi Coast. You know what that is?
No.
It's like, you know those pictures you see of like the Italian little like town or city built on the coast, and it's just like rising up, and they have like pink houses and stuff, and it looks really picturesque. We went to one of those towns, and it was just all American tourists, the whole place. And we were like, dude, this kind of sucks. Like, it's beautiful. It's one of those beautiful places you will ever go in your entire life. But it was just like, oh man, there's like, the culture is tourism here.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else. And it was just like, whatever. Anyways, sorry. I don't want to get too far off kilter. We haven't even hopped into finished the intro. We just got to my name.
Oh, that's the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. That was the end.
Yes. I mean, in a perfect world, I say the person's name correctly. And then it's Riff City, but
they don't walk out.
They don't walk out, dude.
But here we're doing things a little bit differently.
If I was more media savvy, I would clip you walking out.
I'll do it again if you want a better.
If you know, at the end,
we'll end it. Just say my name. That was Humzah Choudry one more time, and then I'll just walk out. I'll walk out.
I don't even correct people. I know we were talking about this off mic. I don't correct people when they call me Bobby Sheeran.
Yeah,
I'm just like, that's fine.
I've learned to just kind of bulldoze through it, especially like at getting brought up on stage. Like, I don't want my first thing to be like, hey, say it right before I get on.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough at comedy to do that. I'm not good enough at comedy to recover from that. So if you bring me up as Humzah Choudry for the next 10 minutes, that's who I am. For the next hour of this podcast, I'm Humzah Choudry.
I was hosting a comedy show, brought somebody up by mispronouncing their last name. It's something I do often. Yep. And they said at the end of their set, thank you very much, my name is, and then mispronounced it the same way that I mispronounced it. They went above and beyond to make sure I didn't look like an asshole.
Yeah, that's very nice of that person. How far off? Was it the wrong name or just the wrong pronunciation?
It was the wrong pronunciation of their last name. Okay. So I got the one time I was bringing this guy up. He was from LA. It's fine. people can be from LA.
LA is a place.
So
Yeah.
I forgot his last name. So I don't, and now I don't remember his first name, but let's say his first name was like
This
Bill.
poor guy.
Yeah.
Just erased from existence by you.
So I do this thing. If I forget your last name when I'm hosting a comedy show, I just say Smith.
Okay.
You
I
know
thought you were
what I
going to say
mean?
Chauncey.
Well, because it's gonna be now, dude. He the first thing out of his mouth rather was that is not how you say my last name. Okay, this is gonna go great,
Dude. And how'd it go after that?
Believe it or not, he came across very unlikable.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, it's just like, you can't start off so negative. And it's just like, okay, like, are they going to fight? Is this going to be a weird thing? We're going to have to watch two comics passively aggressively argue with each other on stage?
I also brought him up as like, of course, I was like, this guy, you're going to love him. This is a treat. He's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And then
like
he kind of pulled the curtain open. He's like, we actually don't know each other. Now I look like a dildo.
Yeah.
Dude.
He's like, also that funny stuff, that was bullshit too. And I'm going to prove it to you over the next 8 minutes. I'm going to just bomb up here, which, yeah.
I will tell you a moment where I really fucked up. This is when I was pretty new to comedy, and I was hosting a comedy show, and the club booked me. I didn't know who most of the people on the show were, and for some reason, like, there was some sort of chaos where I didn't meet the person who I was bringing up first. They just told me, like, bring up Michelle.
Yeah.
Right. So I did my set, and then I went, this first comedian, she's hilarious. She performs all over New York City. You guys are going to love her. Please welcome to the stage, Michelle. And a Haitian guy starts walking towards me because they have the French names, and he's laughing, but he's like shaking his head. And then the whole audience is like, all right, well, this is hilarious.
A farce. Yeah. Yeah.
Luckily, believe it or not, his opening bit was how he has a girl's name. So it actually worked out fine.
Yeah. He probably was just like, I've been waiting. This is perfect. You actually did him a favor.
Yeah.
Just like spiced it up a little bit for his, No, I don't know. That's the one thing I couldn't imagine wanting to be a host because of all that. It's just a lot of unneeded stress. Just being like, all right, I got to learn 8 people's names for the next 5 minutes.
I have a lot of pet peeves in comedy, but I think my biggest one is when I'm hosting a show, or even if I'm just on a show. Usually crowd work is done in the beginning, right? To kind of loosen everybody up, and people will come in late, like comics, they'll come in late to a show and maybe they have a spot somewhere else or whatever. But if you didn't watch the beginning of the show, you can't, if you want to do crowd work, you can't ask people where they're from.
Yeah.
I promise you it's been done already. Yeah. And then everyone just kind of feels weird.
Yeah.
So I've been doing crowd work reports. So I write the crowd work report into the group chat of the comedy show I'm on. And I'm like, these people in the front row are just friends. They're not dating.
Yep.
And then there's a group of German tourists in the back.
Yep.
And they speak English, so you could talk to them.
One of the first comedy shows live I ever went to was in LA. And it was like, I forgot what exactly it was, but it was like these 2 people in the front row, and the guy was from somewhere weird. And the comic had like a 10-minute conversation with this guy. Hilarious. So funny. And then later on in the night, I think it was like Dane Cook came up. And was just like, so where are you from? And the guy was like, said the same place. He's like, oh, and then he was like about to start talking about it. And it was just like, no, we already did this.
Yeah.
It's like, we already did this whole thing. And he was just like, I don't know. He like got mad at us. He's like, I wasn't fucking listening. I don't know. I was up there texting. It's like, yeah, but just like, then leave it alone, dude. Just like go away. Yeah. I don't know.
I think I must have talked about this before, but there was a comedian that I was hosting a show, and she was the first person on the lineup. So she was in the room while I did all my crowd work, went up and did the same crowd work. And it wasn't even like she wasn't in the room. She was, but she was just on her phone. And you don't have to pay attention, but the price of not paying attention is then you can't do crowd work.
And everyone's just like, ugh, is every comedian going to do this?
And sometimes they're right.
Yeah. No, I try to be there, and I try to be present, because it is so important to like really capture people's attention. Is like, you have to like, okay, you guys are telling me stuff. We're listening. We're all here together. Otherwise, it's just like press play and like listen to someone else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish I could have understood. I was just telling you, I was in Italy and I was watching somebody on the train. They were watching a stand-up clip on their phone, but all the subtitles were in Italian and the guy was cracking up. And I was like, damn, dude, I want to know what this Italian guy's, I want to go. I wish I could understand Italian so I could go watch it.
I feel that 100%. When I talk to somebody and maybe they speak English as a second language and maybe they're not like 100% fluent in English.
Yeah.
So there's, sometimes they might hesitate before they say a word or whatever. And then like they get a phone call and then they're talking their native language. I get a little sad because I'm like, oh, well, that's a part of their personality I can't fully like connect with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. And everyone in Rome speaks English. Every single person. Because I would just ask them, like, it was like, I forgot, it was like parle inglés is like, do you speak English? And they would be like, every single one would be like, oh, whatever. And then we would have a full conversation in English, like a full normal. I could ask them anything. There was no holding back.
That's very European. Like, I must apologize that I am not as fluent in English as I would one day like to be. And you're like, that was perfect.
And it was just like I was asking them because like the train had made an announcement. We were running late somewhere and the train thing came over and it was just in Italian. I was like, fuck, dude, what on God's green earth? So I asked this lady, I was like, what did the train guy just say? And she told me in English. And she was like, but she was also someone who's like, my English, it's fine. I was like, all right, whatever. You guys rule. I don't know. Do 2 languages, 3 maybe. Most of them. It makes me feel bad.
Yeah. Are you also monolingual?
Kind of. So I can understand Urdu really good, pretty good, fine. And I can speak
Urdu is the language that they speak in Call of Duty, if you're wondering.
It is the official language of Call of Duty, only Modern Warfare's. Black Ops is a different, but I used to be able to speak it pretty well, and now it's gone. Like I stopped speaking it at home at some point. And so then college and all that stuff, and it's like you just don't use it.
Okay.
And now it's like I can do like base conversation, like, hey, how are you doing? I'm good. How are you?
Yeah.
After that, it's like I have to really sit and think about what I'm saying.
Okay, so your parents are from Pakistan.
Correct.
And so their native language is Urdu.
Yep.
But then once you were born, they spoke English.
Yeah, well, I was born here, but the reason I was better at it when I was younger is because my grandmother lived with us and she didn't speak English.
Okay.
So it was like I just had to speak Urdu to communicate, and she was the one that like took care of us. So it was just like we had this thing without ever thinking about it. Like I'm bilingual through no effort of my own.
Yeah. Okay.
Just by growing up in a brown household. Now that there's effort for me to need to be bilingual, I'm no longer bilingual.
And all the stuff you remember is like, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I have to go potty.
yeah. Those are the only things. It's like, what's up? I'm good. No, I'm fine. That's it.
Do you ever like interact with a guy from Pakistan and he's like, fuck you, man, for not knowing Urdu?
Bad. Yeah. They'll make fun of me because even when I speak it, it's like my accent is so bad. They're like, you speak worse Urdu than like a white person speaking Urdu. Like it's like embarrassing. So yeah, I don't know. I like to think at some point I'll practice and pick it back up, but realistically probably not.
Yeah.
Like it's more, it's so sad. It's like I probably should learn Spanish. If anything. You know, that'll do me some good, maybe.
I've been doing Spanish Duolingo, and during lockdown, I got heavy into it, like literally hours a day, just because there was nothing else to do. And now I do 5 minutes a day just to like maintain what I already know.
Yeah.
But like the problem you run into with trying to converse with someone in another language as someone that speaks English is that English is the world language, which is amazing. It's like a tremendous privilege to have. We could go like anywhere.
Absolutely.
But the other side of that is if you try, like I'm sure you tried to speak to someone in Italian and they're like, don't do that.
Dude,
don't.
they would just, because like I learned to feel like I had a little cheat sheet. It was like table for 2, you know, I would go try to say that and they'd just be like, okay, go sit outside. You know, they would just respond in English. I was like, yeah, it was pretty, but Rome, have you been?
Yeah, but I like barely remember it because I was a preteen.
Dude, I went to the Colosseum. You had to have gone to the Colosseum.
Yes, but I have like a cloudy memory of it, unfortunately.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Do you watch Gladiator?
Of course.
The best thing on earth is the Colosseum.
Was it the highlight of your trip?
Yeah, I think it was probably. I don't know. Dude, we also
I heard you talk to God. I was watching your Instagram stories.
I went to the Vatican City and I was just like here to talk to God. I'm about to have a meeting with this motherfucker.
And if I remember correctly, parentheses, he told me to keep grinding. It's so funny. And at least one person read that and took it 100% seriously.
100% serious. Somebody responded, dude, this photo's sick.
Yeah.
I was like, it is sick. It is sick, dude. Talked to God, went to the Vatican City, spoke to God. He said, keep grinding, which means, and then in parentheses, I said, tell poo poo pee pee jokes.
Hell yeah,
That's
dude.
what it was.
I love doing my little poo poo pee pee skits, dude.
It's every joke I've made, I think somehow boils down to like poo poo pee pee or sex something. That's it. That's the basis of all my jokes.
Yeah.
Is just something about me not getting laid, or poo poo pee pee.
So I have a pet peeve when people are like, oh, women comedian talks about her vagina.
Yeah.
I'm like, but we talk about our penises.
As much as I can.
As much as I possibly can.
Because it's so big.
It's, well, okay, so we're different in some aspects, but like we both.
That was a lie. That was for comedic effect.
I feel like if you never talk about sex as a comedian, I'm like, that's like who we are on a baseline.
It's number one.
Yeah.
It's the real reason we're here.
I think it's about sex all
so
the time.
You and I can have sex.
Yeah. I mean, you know the rules of podcasting.
That's how you get on this podcast, by the way, is by sleeping with the host.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I've had mostly men on.
But yeah, it's just like, okay, what are we doing here on Earth, right? It's like that's going to come up. It's going to come up. You know what's so funny is like I was just watching a comedian's special, and for the first time I heard him talk about sex, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And I was like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Of course he talks about sex. He's a human being.
Yeah.
But it was just the first time I had heard him specifically talking about it, and I was like, I don't know. I was just like, oh yeah, he has sex too.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense, dude. Cause it's like, it's the one activity that it's the most pleasurable and at the same time, the most anxiety producing. Like I think everybody has anxiety to some respect about sex.
So, dude, mine mostly when I was like single was post sex. I got so much anxiety.
After you had sex?
After. Does this not happen to anyone else? Am I crazy where it's like, yeah.
I would, is it like, because sometimes, especially when I had sex with someone for the first time and I like them and I want to see them again, and there's this whole like post, you're already like, well, how do I maneuver this?
Yeah.
You know?
Or it's like, if you don't want to see them again, it's like, okay, well, what did this mean to this person? Okay, well, like, did I wear protection?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. It's like, did I pull out? And dude, for me, it's like a month of anxiety if you were not wearing protection.
Oh, dude, I always wear a condom. And one time, I've talked about this before, but like,
dude,
it's dumb to
dumb, dude. Dude. What do you? Hey, you might as well go swim in a bubble too. Why don't you jump in a pool with a wetsuit on? All right,
dude. All right. So, I wear a condom, and if it's a new person when we haven't had like any sort of conversation of like what happens in the event of an accident. If we haven't had that conversation, not only will I wear a condom, but I will pull out before I come.
With a condom
even though
on?
I'm wearing a condom.
What the hell, dude?
Dude, I so do not want a child.
Yeah.
I mean, not unexpectedly, at least.
Yeah.
You know?
I get that. Pulling out with a condom on is hilarious.
I call it the Bobby Sheehan.
Just sad. That's sad. I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about our dicks. All male comedians talk about is their penises anyways.
Yes, as we just described.
So you told me when I came on to this podcast that you start out by asking if I'm a morning person or an evening person. When did that happen?
It could happen right now. Are you a morning person or an evening person?
This is my thoughts. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking unpromptedly about my thoughts about morning.
The guest is steering the ship on this
or
one.
Evening person. I had it on my mind when I came here, so I was like, I need to get this out. Where it's like, I don't know which one I am. I think I'm both. Because I love my favorite morning is waking up, coffee, favorite drink, morning, waking up, it's quiet. I get to watch soccer because soccer in the US comes on in the mornings. Love that. Morning bike rides, best. Because you kind of get the city to yourself a little bit. If you wake up in New York before 9 a.m., there is nobody. It's like a ghost town. Like New York is quieter at 7 a.m. than it is at 4 a.m., which is crazy. But that's why I love having a fully productive day before noon. That's great.
Mhm.
But I also like late nights. I find myself out late night a lot because I love like a late night conversation. I think conversations are best late at night. So it's like, I think I'm just not a day person is what I
Okay.
just realized. I
You
just
can
don't
do
like
without
the
the
middle
day.
part
Yeah.
of the day. Dude, even before I came here, I was like kind of fumbling around because I had like 2 hours
Mhm.
before I needed to come here. And I just found myself I ate, I went to the grocery store and then I ate again.
Mhm.
It's just like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
I need to go do something because
Mhm.
in the morning I write, I'm productive. Yeah, something about noon to 6, noon to 7, 8. It's not for me.
I think if there is a period in the day where I get a little low, it is during that period.
I used to hit the 2 p.m. wall
Mhm.
every day at work to the point where I would have to like get up and start walking around pretending to do things. Otherwise I would fall asleep at my desk.
Yeah.
And it's like so embarrassing as an adult sitting in an office trying not to nod off at your job.
Mhm.
So bad. And now like I would just like go like to the snack room like 6 times during this like 30-minute. Do you
Mhm.
get this?
Yeah, I would I do like to drink a lot of water, stay hydrated, and I would when I had an office job, I would drink a lot of water, and a happy effect of that is that I would have to pee a lot. And no boss can be like, I noticed you pee a lot. You know, that's
Yeah.
a personal thing. That could be a medical thing.
That's an HR issue.
Yeah.
Really.
So you could pee as much as you want.
I
dude.
noticed you pee a lot.
Mhm. And sometimes I would, if you even get a little bit of the sensation that you could possibly in the future pee,
Yeah.
you're sitting at your desk like with your fucking bullshit
Yeah.
spreadsheet. You're like, why not go piss again?
Dude, the worst thing ever. I used to attend this school called Flatiron School or whatever.
Mhm.
And one time I went and I would just walk around sometimes to like get my mind off stuff.
Mhm.
And one time I went to the bathroom just to go pee, but I didn't really need to. I don't know what I was doing. I was just like kind of walking around
Mhm.
and I go walk up to the stall and my teacher is in the stall next to me. And for some reason I just couldn't pee. And I'm pretty sure he couldn't pee either. And we just stood there for like 45 seconds, just complete silence.
Yep.
2 guys staring forward at the urinal, the most awkward thing of all time.
Mhm.
And then eventually I was just like, all right, I just left. I was just like, I don't know what to do. That was horrible. Getting pee shy next to your instructor.
Mhm.
It's not good.
Yeah, pee shy is like, yeah, because it's not even that unusual because I think it's strange that we have organized things that way.
What do you mean?
Like you have to be so close to another human being and like pee. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
but that's, I think, why our bathroom line moves so much faster.
That's true.
Because the space
Mhm.
really we crush it space wise.
Dude, I am upset by how many men I see that I don't know what it is. They pee at the urinal and they're like, and that's all I have to do in this room. They don't wash their hands.
They don't wash their hands.
Dude, how many people have you shook hands with
Dude,
that just finished touching their penis?
that's why when they were like, people aren't taking the vaccine, it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, dude, people also aren't washing their hands. Like, we got plenty of work to do.
Mhm.
They're not even doing the external work.
I have I've always lived with male roommates,
Yeah.
and I think without exception, when I've moved into a new apartment where like the other men already live there, there has been no liquid soap in the bathroom,
Yeah.
and there's been no hand towel. So I'm wondering what they were doing before I arrived.
They were, no, have you ever heard the guy excuse, I don't use my hands?
Yeah, but if you're wiping your ass, you use your hands. What are you? There's no bidet.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking pee. Like people say that they're like, oh, I didn't use my hands when I peed.
Also, like at the urinal, maybe. I mean, you're not shaking, which is weird to me. But if you're peeing into a toilet, you 100% have to use your hand. You have to put,
Yeah.
right? I mean, my
Maybe.
penis sticks up a little bit. Everybody, please write this down. But you have to. Everybody has to push down to
Yeah.
pee in a toilet, I think.
You got, well, some people could sit.
Ah.
The sit pee is we got options.
Mhm.
We're very versatile species.
Yeah,
And sit
dude.
pee, you can aim, stand in whichever direction you need to aim correctly.
Mhm.
Maybe stand over.
Seems like more effort than
I've thought about this.
necessary. Also, the way I feel like, because I do understand the argument if you're just peeing, like, oh, you're not touching anything dirty. It's
Yeah.
your penis. Do you wash
Yeah.
your penis? Like, but it's a good way for you to just wash your hands often.
You need to wash your hands at least once a day, twice a day, really.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a good cadence, because otherwise you just have Subway. Like, could you imagine going to the Subway and like grabbing the rail or whatever? Like you like touch the seat and all that shit. And then you like go hold hands with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Ugh. Now she's got some homeless dude on her hands. That's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Unless that's your thing.
Unless that's your thing.
Yeah.
And then she sticks it in your mouth later, and now you have a homeless guy in your mouth. Come on, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah, so you're not a morning or a night person.
I think, you should. If I had to choose, I think I would give up the nights, because the nights lead to headaches.
Yeah,
there's always repercussions for but I think I like them more. I like the late nights more. But if I had to give one up, the early mornings are good for your health. The late nights, those are catching up.
Late night, I think I don't drink, so if I'm spending time with somebody at night, whether it's like romantic or platonic, I feel very close to that person because we hung out for a long time.
Yeah.
Like if you're with somebody and like the sun goes down, it feels like you spent a lot of time with them. You know what I mean? And a lot of the times they're like giving up maybe sleep or comfort to spend time with you.
I agree. You make a good point where it's like, it feels closer if you spend a late night with someone than an early morning, because that's, I guess, a more romantic time. But even if it's not a romantic relationship, it's like if you're hanging out with somebody at 11 p.m., like this is the people you're closest to. Yeah. Because you're supposed to be at home. It's
a little a little different for me as somebody that doesn't drink, because I feel like a lot of people that like have those times, it's with drinking. Yeah. And that's sort of a thing. Like if I'm with a group of friends and they're at a bar, I'm happy to sit at a bar. I'll drink Diet Cokes till the cows come home. Yeah. But I once the volume of people's voice starts to raise, because then I'm like, I kind of have to make my exit. You know what I mean? Just
like naturally through being drunk, they're just starting to yell.
Once I hear somebody repeat themselves, that's a thing.
Interesting.
That drunk people do. I feel like they'll
like, because nobody heard them, or because they're just drunk and they're just like saying
because they don't. I've heard that's how you could tell someone's entering a blackout. Because they're literally, they don't remember that they said I love this bar. This bar is really fun. Have you been here before? Yeah. And then like 10 minutes later, they're like, have you been to this bar before? Yeah. They might be in a blackout.
Oh, wow. So you're like a journalist of drunk people through your sobriety.
Yeah. Well, I did field research for a while.
Did you? No, by getting blackout drunk all the time?
Just being a fall down drunk for many years. Yeah. That's the one thing well, I try to be empathetic in general. You know what I mean? Like if someone's acting like a dildo, I'm like, well, you have to, everybody's a product of everything. There are some of their parts, you know what I mean? So that's how I try to.
Yeah. People are people.
Yeah. And
yeah.
But yeah, if someone's any type of drunk, I'm just like, I've been there. You know what I mean? Like I gotta remove myself from the situation, but I'm like, I get it, man. You know?
Yeah. I think people make mistakes and do it often. But I don't know. Dude, there's a certain point where it's just like, hey, dude, stop. Hey, will you cut it out?
Yeah.
You're annoying.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, I don't know, whatever. I don't have there's a lot of sobriety coming forth. Like, I think just in general, the trend is like becoming like people are drinking less, which really worries me, because it's like, where are people going to hang out late at night?
Yeah.
You know, like it's really like a bar can't live off of, and I'm not like ragging on anyone who doesn't drink, but it's just like a bar can't live off of Diet Coke. So like, what's the eventuality?
Yeah.
Is it our bars going to have like a 2-drink minimum? I really don't know. Like, will there be sober bars?
There are.
There are. And how do they make money?
This is going to sound strange. I wouldn't go to them.
Why?
I don't know if I wouldn't go to them, but it's not like I've had people be like, oh, you're sober. We could go to a sober bar. And I'm like, I actually don't need that. Maybe
I actually don't like you.
Yeah.
You're annoying. So yeah.
Cause I get it if you're very new to sobriety and it's like triggering to go. To me, if somebody's like, come on, you can have one drink, I'm like, yeah, I'm just not hanging out with this person. Like this person's annoying. You know what I mean?
It's also, the like, what is it called? Like a pushy person, like a oh, dude, you got to have a drink with me. I've never been that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's weird is like in my groups of friends that at least used to have a lot of fun together, there would always be at least one instigator. We used to call him. You need an instigator to lead the pack of degeneracy that happens. I was never that person, but I do think that they serve a role also.
Yeah, the fun guy.
The fun guy.
Or girl or whatever. Yeah. You need to 100%, I think. Not even just in terms of just like the person that plans the thing. I'm so rarely the person that plans the thing.
Never. I'm never. Dude, I just went on a whole trip. We figured it out day by day. I told you I went to the Coliseum. Figured out that morning. Or we went and they're like, you have to get tickets in advance. We're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is the fucking Coliseum, dude. This is the most famous building in the entire world. You have to get tickets in advance. Yeah. So then I found out that you have to just get either buy them 30 days. They release them 30 days in advance and you can get them, or you can wake up and they start selling them at 9 a.m. So I get there at 9:06 like an idiot.
Yeah.
And the line is down the block, around the corner, probably like 700 people long.
Jeez.
So I had to wait like 2 hours in line just to get a ticket to go into the Coliseum. Totally worth it.
Yeah. Okay.
Place rules. Place rules. That's where Russell Crowe kicked all those people's asses.
Hell yeah, dude. I love the history of that. And I love that it's like, people made this comparison before, but like all of our contact sports, like American football is like a watered down version of what we used to like, which is people literally fighting to the death for our amusement.
Dude, which is so crazy.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. That they would just go and be like eating popcorn, essentially, or whatever. They would just walk up this hill to go to the Coliseum. Like, I wonder who's going to die today. And we're going to watch it.
High stakes.
And I don't know how accurate the movie is. And I saw the movie, whatever, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But like the guy would literally just like,
I don't
know, is that true?
Yes. I have learned that the for those just listening, the emperor, if someone was about to be executed in the Coliseum, he would put his thumb diagonally and then he would either go thumbs down for kill that motherfucker, or maybe if he was having a good day. Yeah. Did he ever do thumbs up?
Dude, that's the thing is like this guy is literally playing God in that moment.
Dude, and you know what? America's not perfect, but this whole like elect someone every 4 to 8 years is such a better system than the emperor's son gets to decide if someone gets their head cut off today.
Yeah, the 4-year thing is good compared to this bloodline decides what we do for the rest. I don't even know how a king comes to power.
Yeah. Well, it's this weird thing where like at some point if you go further enough, the king was like a conqueror. Okay. So he was like an actual like talented general or whatever. But like at some point,
being a general used to be so much more important than it is now.
Dude, now it's like a nerd in a suit.
Is that right?
Yes.
Like you could name generals from hundreds of
years
ago.
You know who the most recent one I can name, American general, is Petraeus.
Who's that?
He did Iraq.
Petraeus?
Yeah, but it's not. It's with a P.
Okay,
with a P.
Petraeus. Okay, I was like, damn, dude, that's a terrible general name.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's like Benedict Arnold Part 2. Yeah, dude.
But why can you name him?
I think he was important for either the second Iraq war or the war in Afghanistan.
Okay.
But he's like, I think it was like the last time I was like really paying attention.
He was just important. Yeah. See, that's the kind of respect generals get nowadays.
Yeah.
And that's the bullshit. Because you could name Ulysses S. Grant and Robert E. Lee.
Eisenhower.
But two generals, same war. You know, both sides generals.
I think where it started, because I think maybe if you gave me a lot of time, I could maybe think of one, but I can't tell you a Vietnam War general.
Yeah.
And I think once our war stopped being, is the word fun?
I think righteous, maybe. Somewhere.
Yeah, because even Korea, it didn't end perfectly, but it was still like, you know, a good side and a bad side. And then Vietnam is like,
I don't even know, dude. Yeah, you're talking to Dude, I've decided I'm going to start reading today.
Okay.
I need to just like catch up on world politics because I have no idea about stuff. Like I'm such a dummy that like it's just the last thing I saw is my opinion on things.
Yeah.
And that's so problematic because it's just like, I don't know. There's a bunch of shit going down right now. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I was hearing two people talk about India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. And I just was like, oh, I have no idea about the history of these countries.
Yeah.
So I gotta start reading.
Well, Humzah, I think the difference between you and people that are posting their opinions is a lot of the times the people posting their opinions also have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, that is true. And you got to be weary of that. Where it's like my smartest friends, those are kind of, I wish I could filter. I could just be like, hey, if this person went to a good school or, that's not even true. I don't know. I need a news feed on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Just be like I want NPR and my smart friends in this section.
Yeah.
So I can see what they say and I can take their opinions and say them as if they're my own.
Well, and I mean, that'd be a better system than like Twitter just boosts the most malignant, loud, fucking most hashtagable opinions.
Yeah.
Like nothing. If someone tweets this is complicated, that's not getting any retweets. It's a complicated situation, boring.
The nuance is so boring.
Yeah.
The nuance of the situation is so boring. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is like people want answers now.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, this is it. This is it. In this 140 character tweet, the whole situation.
Yeah.
Hundreds of years of whatever. I don't know. I don't know, dude. That's a bummer, but I'm a morning person. I've decided.
That's okay. You've decided you're a morning person. I think most people fall somewhere in between.
Yeah.
I've always said I would be a morning person if I had a different occupation, but I'm doing comedy. So if comedy shows could start at like 4 p.m. Perfect.
But they would suck.
Yeah.
They would suck so hard.
If it got dark at 4 p.m.
Because you know what it is? Yeah. It's the same reason that you said you like conversations at night is like at night, there's a little bit of like romanticism that happens between like a person in the crowd where people will like open themselves up and let themselves laugh. I think that's important because like doing a comedy show at 4 is hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard unless people are like getting drunk for brunch or something. But yeah, there's something about late night conversations where it's like it's a little more intimate, and I think that opens people up.
Yeah, I guess so because it's so far removed. Like most people who have a 9 to 5, they associate like the daylight with work, and productivity, and then night. I mean, people fuck at night. People
not us. It's 2:51, and I'm on the show,
dude. Morning sex. What a great way to start your day.
Great way to start your day. Don't know why you would get out of bed afterwards.
Yeah.
I think it's like you kind of accomplished your day. You're done. You did it. What next?
And there's something nice about, especially when you were with a new person and maybe it's your first time like sleeping over. So you fuck at night and then you wake up in the morning, and then the morning is like, in a lot of ways, for most people, at least, it's like the worst version of themselves. Like my breath smells
so bad.
I know everybody's breath smells, but mine is particularly gross in the morning.
Okay, I believe you, but continue.
So you're fucking kissing this new person with your smelly breath, and you're like, "Does my breath smell?" And they're like, "Haha, yeah," but they like keep kissing you, and then you fuck.
Yeah,
that's like chef's kiss, man. I'm not just saying that just because you came back from Italy.
Yeah. So you say you like that? You like smelly breath,
smelly breath, smelly genitals.
Yeah,
smelly breath, smelly genitals. That's actually going to be
like
my tagline.
Nice smelly bedroom.
Smelly bedroom, dude. Yeah.
You think that like helps? What?
I think it's more intimate. You know what I mean? The whole joke of like, oh, I've been together with this person for such and such amount of time, and I just farted in front of them. Like I'm not saying I have a fart fetish. That is not what I'm saying. But there's like a new level of intimacy that you have.
Could you imagine if you did though?
I mean, announcing that I don't on the podcast would be a pretty good indicator.
Or it's just like, dude, how do you explain that to a woman? You're like, okay, whenever you fart in the bathroom, I want you to do that in my face instead. And that's going to turn me on, and then we're going to have sex.
You know what it is like, I think that's a post-sex conversation. Like you've
already done it.
You've already, I'm an advocate of have like nice vanilla sex with a new person twice, 2 or 3 times.
But what if you can't get hard without the fart?
Then you're in a fucking world of trouble, dude.
You gotta go to the bathroom and just hope she just took a shit and just like stick your head in the toilet.
Oh yeah, I mean I guess that's a definition of a fetish, right? Like you need it.
You need it, yeah.
Oh my god!
You just have to date particularly gassy girls. Like this guy takes all his dates to Buffalo Wild Wings before. For some reason, this guy just constantly orders mozzarella sticks
and eats none of them himself because he doesn't want to be the one farting.
No, it's like he keeps pushing on my stomach.
Yeah. So you're not a morning sex guy?
Dude, I am, but I'm lazy I like lazy morning sex.
Okay.
Is that gross? I don't know. I think
it's not showtime. But it's something.
I do love, you know what I like is like first time in a while we haven't had sex.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been 2, 3, 4 days. Mm-hmm. And now we see each other again. And now we're like really excited.
Yeah.
Morning sex is great because it's like the last thing you do before you leave.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think I like 4 days haven't seen you sex. Mm-hmm. Good to see you again sex.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Shake hands afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that.
Morning sex is good because I can last longer. Because dude, I'm not a marathon guy.
Yeah.
I'm like a quick draw.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a big advocator of first time you come right away, eat your pussy. Second time, you're not going to come right away.
Yeah.
Most people don't come. Most guys, I don't think, come right away during round 2, no matter how sensitive you are.
Yeah.
You know? And I think the reason I feel that way is because I think like the first dozen times I had sex, I was so anxious that I couldn't come at all. And that is worse.
That sounds... So you just couldn't.
I just couldn't. And I was in my head about what it means and blah, blah, blah. And
Do people shame you for not finishing?
I've more than one woman when I couldn't finish felt a certain way about it. It's like I guess the equivalent would be like if you were a guy and like a woman like couldn't get wet. And then you're like, even if this has to do with her, I still feel insecure about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's like, you can't come. Am I not, pretty or whatever? But it's like, because I think a woman's annoyance with a guy that comes right away is if he's then like, and now we're done. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's when it's like, no more.
Yeah. Yeah. People make you feel bad for finishing quick. Mm-hmm. Girls will be like, ugh.
I've literally, so I've had, like I said, more than one woman has been disappointed that I couldn't come. I've only had one woman like literally roll her eyes that I like came quickly. And that to me, I was like, I don't know if I want to be around this person. You know what I mean? Because you don't do it on purpose.
Yeah. It's like, first of all, I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah. I think you're very beautiful.
Yeah. I'm enjoying myself. I'm just going to, just do it. Like whenever I'm enjoying a nice beer, I just drink it.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not gonna make sure the beer's enjoying it.
Yeah,
too, That's
But you can't be all DJ Khaled. You come right away. You got to eat your pussy in the interim.
I mean, you gotta get them back. Mm-hmm. You gotta. This is a 2-way street. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I remember one time I came right away, and then
DJ Khaled doesn't eat pussy.
Yeah, this was like a couple of years ago. Yeah, he was on
that. You're telling me that motherfucker eats everything but pussy. That motherfucker will eat.
You got to go back 10 years and tweet that.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, I'm sure it's been covered. But I've seen videos of him with like a private chef at home, and he's just like eating everything. Oh. Have you ever seen when he was on Snapchat? Did you watch?
No, I don't think I ever did.
He would just like whisper in this girl's ear. He would just have her in his pool and be like, I got you. Like, anything you want, you got it. Just like, but he would be like Snapchatting himself while doing it. It was insane. It was insane. His persona. Yeah, but he's made it. He's doing well. He's not eating pussy though.
The interviewer was like, so you don't, and he's married too. So it's not even like, oh, I fuck these chicks and I don't care, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, you love this woman. Don't you want her to be happy? And the interviewer was like, well, does she go down on you? And he's like, that's different. And I'm like, holy shit, man.
He's Arab?
I think so. Khaled?
Yeah, dude. Arab men are men, dude.
Yeah.
Arab men are men. You think American men are men? No. Arab dudes are next level alpha male. Arab men are so manly that they don't even let women drive, dude.
Yeah.
That's how you think American men are alpha? No. Take away women's rights. That's how alpha Arab men are.
Whenever I think about the like the whole burqa issue,
Yeah.
I'm like,
wait, what's the issue?
Humzah, some people find it to be an issue.
Dude, I was in Rome and I was like, nuns are essentially wearing burqas.
Yeah.
But those are also nuns who choose that way of life.
Right.
Not women forced to do it.
And when I think about how in some countries a woman has to cover her whole body, it's wrong. I want to go hold for applause, but I will say I don't not get it. You know what I mean?
Well,
you ever have a guy check out your girlfriend and you're like, I would prefer that didn't happen.
Really? Dude, I kind of, this is what sounds crazy, but I kind of like it. I'm like, yeah, that's my girlfriend. Yeah, she's hot. That's why I'm dating her. Is that fucked up?
I used to, full disclosure, I tried this bit on stage and it's very unlikable. But I always thought like, it's bad that that in some countries women have to cover themselves, but it is nice that they make all women cover themselves, like even the ugly ones.
That's important. Equality.
Could you imagine if they were like, no, it's just 5s and above? Like, Fatima, come on, no one's trying to. Just you're good.
Yeah. Nobody's.
Then women would be wearing them voluntarily because they'd be like, I'm actually really pretty too. I could like establish.
It's like
lust
I
in
also
someone.
need to be. What's the word they use? They use a certain word where it's like you should be modest. It's about modesty. Where it's like you don't want to show off your body. You want to save that for your husband.
I do find it funny when a woman in America she's wearing a hijab, just like covering her hair, but then obviously focused a lot on doing her makeup.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like a lot of girls who wear hijab aren't against dating or anything. They just do it for the religious purpose. Like they still want to look good and like be sought after and like get married.
I do think that this is going to sound maybe weird, but if there's a woman on a dating app and she's wearing a hijab, I'm like, I don't know if she's going to fuck me. You know what I mean?
She won't.
Yeah. Okay. I'm like, actually, this is going to sound crazy. You're like, it actually makes 100% sense.
I mean, maybe she would. You know, that's the thing is like a lot of these girls, and it goes both ways where it's like a lot of girls like identify with the idea of like being modest and like want to portray or are religious and like want to like partake in it. And like some girls are like forced to by their families where it's like they'll be put down by their like parents or whatever if they don't wear it. So it goes both ways where it's like she might be wearing it to make her parents happy and like this is who I am, so this is what I look like, but also my parents don't know about my Tinder profile.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to dudes because who doesn't? I mean, who doesn't, like want to date or fuck or whatever.
Yeah.
Not who doesn't want to talk to dudes. Not me who's in a basement with a man joking about having sex with him for an hour.
Just for 1 hour, dude.
Just for 1 hour. Just for 1 hour, not the 2 hours before this where we were plowing each other in the. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. Those are the rules of podcasting, baby.
That's next. You'll see him on my show with me and Grant Moore.
Was your trip to Italy, was that the first time out of the country, or have you been to other places?
No. So this also, I didn't just go to Italy. I went to Morocco also.
Okay.
I went to Morocco for a wedding, which was so gaudy.
Oh, and Italy is right next to Morocco. I think.
It was like a 3-hour flight.
Okay. Yeah.
It wasn't crazy. 2 hours maybe.
So the purpose of the trip was go to this wedding in Morocco. And then you're like, I also want to see the Colosseum.
Yeah. We might as well go check out Rome also.
Hell yeah, dude.
It was fucking awesome. Dude, I am living a stupid life right now. We talked about this the other day where it's like I got laid off. So they just gave me 6 months worth of my pay and then they just told me to fuck off. And it was like gladly.
6 months is such a fucking
Crazy.
nice severance, dude.
Crazy.
They really didn't want you to sue them.
Yeah, they're well, I work for one of those like super liberal companies that like, like the land acknowledgements. They would do that. Hey, dude, I'll listen to every land acknowledgement for a 6 month severance.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit, dude. You can keep your conservative. If you give me all the bullshit and you also, when it comes to paying the, like doing the thing of like, yeah, we want to take care of you later, which is that a liberal thing? I don't know.
It is. I mean, I worked for a company where they would just fire you, no severance. and
no
vicious.
land acknowledgements.
No, I mean,
they'd actually be like, I'm glad we took this fucking land.
yeah, capitalism, baby. The land acknowledgement thing is funny to me because you're only acknowledging the most recently victorious Indian tribe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because there was an Indian tribe before that that lost a war.
Yeah, that's a very white American centric is this idea that the indigenous people were one collective group.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to like them being like every other group of people in the world at the time, which was like constantly fighting each other for land and resources.
Yeah.
That's what I would say during the land acknowledgement.
Yeah, you'd explain all of Native American history.
Yeah. I wonder, it's interesting because I'm sure that there are indigenous people that like that.
I'm sure.
But I'm also sure that there's just there somewhere in corporate America is a Native American office worker that's like, I actually just want to talk about the spreadsheets. You don't have to do this. It makes me uncomfortable.
With anything else, there's some person whose job it was to create this thing. So okay, I got to take this seriously and make it really good. And then there's a lot of people that are just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
We didn't ask for this shit. Dude, this is annoying. I'm not getting paid more for this. I don't feel better now because you just said that. I guess maybe. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, dude. Put out a statement one time. A lot of statements. Doing nothing.
Yeah.
doing minimal. I don't know. I guess it's better to do it than to not.
I don't know. I think I don't know if you should make your political beliefs known at the workplace. That might not be appropriate. I know some people might be like, a land acknowledgement isn't political, but it is kind of.
A little bit.
You know what I mean?
My name's Humzah Choudry, and I'm glad to be doing this podcast on stolen Indian land. I'd like to thank Bobby Sheehan for having me and explaining to me that not all indigenous people are the same. I just found that out. I didn't know that before, that there were different tribes. I thought they were all just Indians, like me. I thought this is my land, actually. This is Bobby Sheehan came here and stole my land, had sex with me, and then put me on his podcast. And then gave me the wrong name.
On purpose. Actually, that was me negging you.
Yeah.
It was to establish dominance.
That was a white American thing.
Yeah.
What is this fucking name? Chauncey? He just pulled out a white person's name.
Yeah.
I don't know. It must be Chauncey.
So you grew up in Oklahoma City, right? Or Oklahoma?
Yeah, well, Oklahoma City suburbs.
Okay. Yeah. So you must have had the experience with like a substitute teacher of like stopping at your name.
Oh, every time. Every time. And it was like kind of anxiety inducing because, I mean, if you get it close, that's fine. But some people would. I still remember in my freshman year of high school, which was like coming new, and I was like so anxious about this because I was going to be having classes with like upperclassmen. My math teacher, Mrs. Cleaver or something, I don't remember her name, but she was great.
Shout out to Mr. Cleaver.
Mrs. Cleaver. She stood outside the door and asked and introduced herself to everyone. So she got everyone's name on the way in, and she got my name right because she did that. And I could tell that was like her way of being smart about like, okay, if I have somebody with a difficult name, I'm going to meet them when they walk in. So when I call roll, I can get it right. Yeah. And she like even like took a little like note of like, okay, it's like a, Humzah, like
just a little bit
whatever,
of emotional
phonetic.
talent, not emotional talent. Yeah. EQ, I guess, just to be like, it's not, especially for children, dude. Yeah. Cause you don't want to feel different as a child.
Yeah.
Dude,
that same day I went to my Spanish class and got Humzah Choudry. And then I don't even remember what the last name was. I've gotten hummus before.
Oh, that's awful.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Why would it be hummus?
Why would it be named after a dip, dude? Why? Who does that?
Although I have met an Italian man named Alfredo.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is wild.
But maybe Alfredo was the guy that came up with Alfredo sauce.
That's probably true.
Maybe?
Yeah. Was hummus created by Dr. Hummus?
maybe we're on to something.
Is he the George Washington Carver of the Middle East?
Yeah. Dude, George Washington Carver made peanut butter, didn't put his name on it.
Yeah.
Should have. Should have done it.
Yeah. Carver sauce.
Carver sauce.
Yeah.
A little Carver butter.
That was, I think so Bo Burnham has like a joke about, he says, According to the American educational system, white people invented everything but peanut butter.
Yeah.
And that just resonates with millennials because it's like, I do remember learning that every February of my school existence.
Yeah.
And my theory is that he was like a non-political black person from history. So it was like, because, you know, what are you going to teach a fourth grader about Malcolm X? You know,
I still don't know everything about Malcolm X because they were just like, he was a guy during the civil rights movement. That's it. That's all, folks.
Yeah.
Even like, dude, I'm from Oklahoma. The Tulsa race riot was a paragraph in our Oklahoma history book.
Yep.
It was barely even mentioned. It was actually, I'm pretty sure they just had like an illustration of like some guys like shouting at each other. And it was like, that was it. That was the whole thing. But that makes sense as to why George Washington Carver gets hyped, because he was likable, I guess, from a white person's perspective. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Safe, maybe.
Safe. Yeah.
Well, and it's also, you want to, because someone that's like more militant, like Malcolm X, you teach that to fourth graders? You know
I don't
what
know.
mean?
I think it would be a fun class to learn in high school. Because in high school, my government class was like one of the best classes we took, where the guy would like just let us debate about stuff. Legitimately. He's like, just have a discussion and we'll talk about it. And like, we're not going to get too crazy. Like, don't attack each other.
Yeah.
But like, and people would like get heated, but like never to the point where it like turned anything physical or anything. Right.
Yeah.
And that was the best class I had senior year.
I think you just get,
dude, they should let fourth graders do that. Just a little fourth grader be like, Malcolm X was an asshole. Be like, you don't even know what he went through.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
I think I remember in high school we had something kind of similar like that. I think the class was called Current Affairs, and the teacher had so it was a room that had four corners, as rooms have, and she would say a statement, and you would go to one corner for strongly disagree, another corner for slightly disagree, agree, and strongly agree. And we would all stand in the middle, and then we would go to respective corners based on the statement. And one of them was, quote, "There are too many immigrants coming into America."
Oh, wow.
And that is a very like early aughts fucking thing to do. Like now I'm sure no one's doing that in American public schools. And it was pretty even, like evenly split the four ways. And I remember there was most people for the pro that statement that were like anti at least the amount of immigrants coming in were on the slightly agree. And so there was a white kid in slightly agree, and then the only person that went to strongly disagree was the one immigrant in our class. And fucking, of course we all laughed. He laughed. It was fine. But then this guy, like, just upon seeing his friend, just walked to the strongly disagree part of the room
with his immigrant friend.
Yeah. Basically saw his immigrant friend and was
that
like,
guy rules, dude.
Yeah.
Shout that guy's name out, dude.
He was definitely our best soccer player. I'll let you guess what country he was from. Denmark.
Dude, I remember in the first grade, my teacher asked, "Who believes in Santa?"
What the fuck?
That was a tough day.
Because that's a pivotal moment. Because first grade is like, it's like half and half. I don't know. I was too old when I found out.
I was the only kid that didn't raise their hand.
Okay, because you weren't raised with Santa.
Because my parents were. I wasn't raised with Santa, and I remember my best friend saw me and he like put his hand down in solidarity. And then after a while, he was like, just like, nah, fuck it. He's like, nah, I believe in Santa.
I mean,
Santa rules.
I love my Muslim friend, but I love presents on Christmas Day more.
I don't blame him, dude. Santa sounds like a cool guy. He comes by, he got presents. He doesn't want coal in his shit.
Dude, I remember when I found out that Santa Claus wasn't real. It was, sorry for anybody listening that didn't know that, by the way, but it is an 18+ podcast. But I think I was like, I was like 9 years old, which is too old.
You think that's too old?
I think so.
I think that's right about where you need to.
I feel
it might be on the tail end, but
on the tail end, I think the way that I found out was two of my friends that were my age were like, somehow they were joking around and it came out like, he was like, "Oh yeah, what's Santa getting us?" And they were like laughing about like, imagine if we still believed. And then this is how nice they were for fucking 9-year-olds. They looked at me, saw this change in my face, like, what? And they were like, "Oh no, we were just joking. Of course Santa's real." Like they were trying to. But then I was like, I feel like he might not be.
Yeah, was the seed of doubt.
It was the seed of doubt. And I remember talking to my dad in the car and I was like wearing him down. I was doing like the Socratic method for Santa Claus. I was like, well, who puts the presents under the tree, Dad?
Yeah. Like, how is it logistically possible to hit 82 million homes in one night? It just doesn't make sense. It's like, God damn it, dude.
So, Humzah, if people want to DM you, maybe ask you questions about Santa Claus, whether or not he's real, can you let people know where they could do that?
You can DM me at it's at hums on Instagram and TikTok at humz.ah. Regular Humzah was taken first, or you can follow me on X at biryani_poppy. I don't really use it often.
I love that, dude.
But yeah.
You got anything to plug? It's going to come out next week.
Yes, you can tune into my radio show. It happens Sundays 11 to 1 on radiofreebrooklyn.org or the Radio Free Brooklyn app. It's hosted here in Bushwick, Brooklyn. Sundays 11 to 1. And come see me on this comes out when? Next
Sunday.
This Sunday?
Yeah.
Come see me October 18th on a show for Prince. I don't know the location. Come see me November 9th for New York Comedy Festival at Easy Lover. That's Garlic Renaissance for New York Comedy Festival. It'll be fun.
Hell yeah, dude. And just a reminder, I'll be in the Lookout Comedy Festival in Chattanooga, Tennessee in the 3rd week of October. Just follow me on Instagram. If you're in Tennessee, I would love to see your face. Thank you for joining us, Humzah. And remember, folks,
Pleasure.
Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'm just plain night owls. You know I love you.